in LA this week.
Most people are not used to frying turkeys, nor are people taught how to do it correctly.
Alzheimer's disease is defined by a buildup of several misfolded proteins called plaques.
But now, because of COVID, there are so many people who never in a million years thought that they would be lining up to get food.
Hello everyone, I'm Rasha Goel. Here's what's happening in LA this week. Thanksgiving is finally here, and the team at LA This Week hope you have a great kickoff to the holiday season. Although 2020 has been a year of many firsts, Thanksgiving safety tips are always in vogue. Our pals at the Los Angeles Fire Department shared their top tips from frying turkeys to virtual meals. Check it out.
There's nothing illegal or wrong about frying turkey. The thing about it is you need to know how to do it correctly. And the most important things to keep in mind is make sure that the turkey's thawed out, make sure you're using a pot that's big enough and it has enough room for the liquid that's going to be displaced by the turkey. So once you put the turkey inside, the level of oil is going to rise. Make sure you got enough room in that pot for the amount of liquid that's going to be displaced by the volume of the turkey going into it. And lastly, don't do it indoors. Don't do it out in a garage. If you were to lose control and start a fire, having it outside is going to give you the ability to control it a lot easier and faster than having a lot of combustibles near your fire, such as curtains or other materials that are flammable. Not only do we have a large number of residential fires during Thanksgiving, we also have a lot of burn injuries to children. So keep the children away from the stove, away from the kitchen. We do not need to have children injured. Number two, having a working fire extinguisher in your home it makes your home a lot safer and prevents a large fire from starting. And thirdly, make sure that the smoke alarms in your home are functioning. On COVID, what we're going to recommend is what the CDC is saying. And what the CDC is saying is to just limit it to people in your household. And virtual Thanksgiving is the safest way to go, where you're sharing the moment with a camera and you're watching your other family members enjoy the same recipes that you've shared and eating the same foods from other locations. But we don't want to add more victims to this COVID pandemic. We want to make sure that everyone enjoys a safe Thanksgiving.
Thanks to LAFD's David Ortiz for joining us. You can keep up on the latest fire and safety news at lafd.org. Since it's Thanksgiving week, we're happy to share the latest in our series of Angelinos Give Back. First up is LA City College and their Day of Gratitude, followed by Council District 9's collaboration with the LA Food Bank for their annual Operation Gobble. Let the joy begin.
Today is our Day of Gratitude event. It's today from 12 to 3, as well as this coming Thursday from 12 to 3 as well. And we're distributing food to our students. They're Thanksgiving meals that we're sharing with our students.
At LA City College, we regularly run a food distribution. It usually takes place twice a week when we're here in person. Because we've been remote, we haven't been able to do so safely, so we've tried to figure out a way to safely deliver food to our students. We know in the LA City College district, 1 in every 4 students is food or housing insecure. So we want to make sure they are taken care of so that they can be successful in their studies.
And so we met as a committee and as a group and said, look, what can we do to still make sure that our students have meals? And we determined that we'll come up with a drive-through system. We also have a walk-up option for some students who don't come with a vehicle. And we just wanted to make sure to continue the tradition and students had a nice meal.
You know, there are people that do not have opportunities like this. So if the school offers it, I would say come and take advantage of it, because we definitely will, because this bag of food goes a long way.
This event is important to me because given everything we've gone through in 2020, it was important for us to step out and help our community. The easiest thing you can do is actually help them with food, meals, let them know that we actually care. They may not see us come to campus every day since March, but we still wanted them to know that we're here, We feel like them, we want to help them as they're going through the holidays.
Como le repito, es una gran ayuda para muchas familias porque no todos estamos pasando la misma situación, ¿verdad? Vemos unos que más abajo y otros que se han mantenido, pero los que estamos abajo, esto ha sido una gran bendición.
Hello, I'm Los Angeles City Controller Ron Galprin, and we are here for a turkey giveaway before Thanksgiving. There's so many people in Los Angeles who've been experiencing food insecurity and who really could not afford the most basic of groceries. But now, because of COVID, there are so many people who never in a million years thought that they would be lining up to get food, and yet they need that for their families. So this is an important effort to make sure that they get that food that they need for Thanksgiving and for beyond.
We're going to be able to bless, to distribute over 2,500 turkeys. That's going to feed a lot of families. Again, it's an opportunity for us to say thank you and that we're with you. We're going to continue doing this and other programs that help meet the needs of our community. And certainly during this pandemic, being able to have a nice meal, a complete meal is going to be important. And so we're glad to be a part of that process.
Well, the LA Food Bank has been a leader for such a long time in really helping distribute food to the people who need it.
It's always a blessing to come see what the city councilmen are doing and providing for the community, and to watch and see all the agencies that come and receive turkeys.
Porque estamos recibiendo pavos del concejal que está aquí y luego vamos a recibir unos del alcalde. So, como son 75 familias las que se van a recibir un pavo esta semana.
Necesitan recursos, ayuda, por favor no procuren de llamar a nuestra oficina al 323-846-2651 y los podemos conectar con cualquier recurso que usted necesite.
I just want to say that no matter what, through the pandemic, we still feed LA.
'Tis the season for helping others. Yes, we've got a double dose of Angelinos Give Back. Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell teams up with Salif for a new monthly distribution, and the Department on Disability provides food, PPE, and even trees to families in the disability community.
This is our launch of a monthly meal distribution taking place at my field office, and we're doing it this month, in the month of December, and every single month in all of 2021. Back in March, I knew that we were in for a challenge of a lifetime, so we set out to make sure that we did everything we could to keep people housed and fed. Our partners in this are SALAF, that's the Salvadoran American Leadership and Education Fund, along with Sustainable Economic Enterprises of Los Angeles. We partner with them on several farmers markets in the 13th District.
As a response to COVID-19, my organization set up a food distribution program to allow us to be able to tackle food insecurities that we already knew existed in our communities that were exacerbated with COVID-19.
Bueno, estamos ahorita en cada bolsa van a encontrar hand sanitizer para enfocarse en la sanidad. Estamos dando información en cómo protegerse, quedarse en la casa, agarrar su vacuna de influenza. Es muy importante ahora que viene el invierno.
Es muy bueno, es una buena ayuda porque en estos tiempos que estamos viviendo, ¿verdad? Pues que hay poco trabajo y usted sabe que la comida es lo que más se compra, ¿no? En la marqueta, y pues es una buena ayuda y estoy muy contenta y qué bueno que estén haciendo esto. Ayuda mucho para la comida en el hogar.
Soy sincero, es la primera vez que vengo. Vamos a ver, con que me den un arroz, unos frijoles, un bote de leche me va a ayudar, no se puede dar una idea cuánto.
It's a pretty awesome event today. We're giving away food, trees for the community. I think it's a really good event for the community to be able to come out on a Saturday morning and give things for free for their families.
My role is as a volunteer. I'm here to help out as everybody else is. I work for the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, and we've been fortunate enough to be given the PPE from the state of California to provide to our local communities.
Por medio del centro regional estamos recibiendo esta ayuda, que por cierto cae muy bien para esta época tan difícil de la situación que estamos viviendo de COVID-19. Nos van a dar una caja de comida y mascarillas y guantes, que nos viene bien para poder protegernos de COVID-19.
Ahora venimos al evento que va a haber, que van a regalar comida para los niños especiales, van a regalar un árbol para plantar en nuestra casa y mucha ayuda para nuestros niños que están con disabilidades.
I think it's a good thing because I know a lot of people struggle, especially during these times. So it's good that they provide all this help for the people.
Being able to do this for the public, for the community, it's a great way to let them know that we're still here, we're supporting each other.
It's time for the age-old debate of when you can start playing holiday music. For me, I say 2020 has been one heck of a year, so let the season of joy begin as early as you like. Well, the team over in CD8 agrees with me. We've got a special sneak preview of their virtual tree lighting ceremony with Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson.
The best holiday tradition of all is that people become their best selves. People are giving, people are looking to help others, people are thinking about things other than themselves. So that's one of my favorite traditions. The others include the music, the decorations, the fashion, and everything that comes with the holidays.
My holidays' favorite traditions are the tree lighting and the lights around the house. It just brings such joy.
This year will be different. I'm a big shopper and I love hitting the malls and hitting the big stores, and we won't be able to do that this year with COVID. Even with masks, you don't want to be indoors in big crowds.
What's special for this year is that we will all get to participate and watch on Facebook. A little disappointed with the COVID-19, with the restrictions that we have. But I think we still can make it a great celebration just by embracing the fact that we will have the tree lighting on Broadway.
This year and every year on Broadway in the Century Palms neighborhood, we have the big tree like you'd see anywhere in the city.
Well, right now, since everyone's, probably feeling down, everyone's alone at home, I feel like they need that sense of community to know that they're not alone. So I think that this definitely will fix that for me too, knowing that everyone's enjoying the Christmas tree lighting.
LA Sanitation celebrates America Recycles Day. Council District 2 invests in cabin communities, and LAFD is gifted with a fleet of battery-powered e-bikes. These stories up next on City Beat.
As part of America Recycles Day, LA Sanitation is reminding everyone of the importance of recycling, especially now with more people at home. In some areas, up to 30% more waste is accumulating, and taking care of our environment is vital. You can join in by checking out their LA Public Works channel on YouTube, which is presenting videos with tips on the right and wrong ways of recycling. Knowing these tricks can help make recycling even more efficient.
Let's all take part in saving the environment by reducing what goes into landfills. Just one more way to trim your waste.
People experiencing homelessness in Council District 2 will soon have a chance to have a place they can call home. The Cabin Home Project, which is being constructed at 11471 Chandler Boulevard, is an innovative 75-bed project aimed at giving people a chance to start over. The project was launched by Councilmember Paul Kerkorian and is set to open in February of next year.
It's a piece of property that was otherwise just blighting our community, and now we've turned it into a cabin community that will play a really important role in housing the unhoused in Council District 2.
Bike retailer and manufacturer Aventon, based out of Ontario, presented the LAFD's Bike Medic team with a fleet of battery-powered e-bikes. According to Aventon, the 4 e-bikes can travel up to 40 miles at speeds up to 28 miles per hour. LAFD's Bike Medics provide support at LAX and are at events occurring at Dodger Stadium, USC football games, and at the LA Marathon.
Last week, we introduced you to the visionaries that created a new supportive housing site for families and transition-age youth in CD9. This week, we meet some of the people that will have a new home at Residences on Maine.
We are at 69th and Maine at my new apartment building.
This project means a great deal to us here in the city and here in CD9. So we really want it to be a real center. And the fact that it will be able to house homeless individuals, our transitional age youth, again, I think really underscores the fact that we are really creating a community here.
It feels amazing. I actually been through a lot my whole life, and actually to really have a place of my own and just be able to say I did something in my life is a good feeling.
Yes, it's a very big day for us, for me and the family, you know. We've been through a lot, and you know, it's a struggle, so it's so wonderful that they open up to us and, you know, get us in this place so we don't have to worry about being homeless and being on the street. So it's a very big day for us. My daughter will come up to me and my daughter will say, Daddy, when is going to be a time that we can't sleep in this car no more, because she can't take it no more.
I feel very happy for me and my family that now we're in finally a place so we can enjoy our rest of our life that we're in and we were living. It's very fun that we're now here with my family. We get to sit down, enjoy a nice meal together.
It's it's not even words, honestly. It's the feeling, just to look at, seeing how my kids' face when I told her and I told my other kids about this place. The look on their face, it's like Christmas for them. Yeah. Without the tree and without the present. This is a present.
If you could get housed, I feel, then you can move on with your life. And I feel like nobody should give up on housing. I don't feel right with people just sleeping on the street and just having to go through that situation.
What an amazing story. This is one of several housing projects in Councilmember Price's district. According to CD9, they are on track to build 872 permanent supportive housing units in the short term. November is National Alzheimer's Month, and this week I sat down with Dr. Helena Chu of Keck School of Medicine to discuss her world-renowned research on the disease and its connection to cardiovascular health. November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. 5.8 million Americans aged 65 or older are living with Alzheimer's dementia. To talk to us more about this disease is Dr. Helena Chu, Chair and Professor of Neurology at USC's Keck School of Medicine. She is internationally recognized for her research on Alzheimer's disease and vascular cognitive impairment. This is a very important disease, and especially with this month. And the number of growing cases. First of all, talk to us a little bit about Alzheimer's and what are some early symptoms that people should be looking out for?
Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause for dementia as we get older. It's an example of a neurodegenerative condition where the nerve cells and the circuits in the brain that allow us to form memory and solve problems slowly fail. Alzheimer's disease is defined by a buildup of several misfolded proteins called plaques and tangles. And one of the earliest signs of Alzheimer's is a difficulty in recording and retaining new information that we are experiencing.
You know, this disease, it's so scary in a sense because they don't have a cure for it. So can it be completely prevented?
Yeah, well, the big high blood pressure, diabetes with high sugar, glucose, high cholesterol, those we have really good lifestyle and medications to bring them into control. You know, stop smoking, that's a big risk factor, keeping weight in the ideal window, exercise, healthy diet, all of those things can protect the health of blood vessels and significantly reduce the risk of stroke and therefore damage from stroke to the neurons and their circuitry.
For someone who wants to be a part of this study, what is the criteria?
We're looking for the healthier vessels, healthier brain for individuals who are over 60 and who have a diagnosis of early diabetes or pre-diabetes, who are not taking insulin, and who are willing to be followed annually for about 5 years.
Thanks to Dr. Chu for coming by the Channel 35 studios. Once again, if you'd like more information on the study mentioned in her segment, visit usc.edu/ADRC. Earlier in the show, you saw the fruit of his labor with the outreach to families in need. Stephen Simon, General Manager of the Los Angeles Department on Disability, joined us in studio to discuss how the disability community has been greatly affected by the pandemic.
I'm delighted to be joined by the Executive Director from the Department of Disability in Los Angeles, Stephen Simon. So nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Maria. So glad to be here.
All right, so let's just get into a real basic thing, first of all. How does the Department on Disability define the word disability?
Well, we define it very broadly. I mean, our baseline is the Americans with Disabilities Act, and they consider any impairment, mental or physical, that limits someone's substantial life activity. So dressing yourself, for example, getting out to transportation or work could define you as having a disability.
What are some of the things that the department does to assist people who might have these issues that impact their lives?
We work with all city departments, so the physical structure, whether it's working with rec and parks facilities, working with library facilities to make sure those are physically accessible, ramps, elevators. Technology, work a lot with ITA and all departments on websites, for example, to make sure, for example, a blind person with a screen reader has access to a city website or all city documents, making sure there's an interpreter behind the mayor when he's announcing COVID information. Those are all things that we do.
Sadly, we've all had to make accommodations for this issue called COVID-19. And I know that people, with these disabilities perhaps have been hit in ways that we're not aware of or have had to manage issues that we would have not thought about.
The COVID pandemic has obviously impacted all of us, and like you said, it's really been a struggle for folks. People with disabilities are having a really, really tough time. Food insecurity for people with disabilities in Los Angeles County before this pandemic was up to 40% of families with a person with disabilities were food insecure. Some way or another, just didn't have enough food for the family over a given period of time. So that's a struggle when you can't now, just go out safely and go to the supermarket as a person with disability. Our department staff, particularly our community outreach and education staff, put together a food and meals program for people with disabilities that was unprecedented. It didn't exist here in LA. We first started working with community-based organizations and independent living centers who were bagging up groceries to deliver to their clients. So we just tried to help them out in doing that. It was an extraordinary effort, and we served 180,000 meals from April to maybe mid-July. And we have just relaunched the program. We had to stop it because we had no resources for it. We literally relaunched that program this past Monday and plan on feeding people through the end of the year.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for being with us.
In our feature story, we meet filmmaker Ian Skarodin, who is a leading voice in the Native American community with his festival, LA Skins. We zoomed with Ian to talk about the festival and the incredible outreach he's doing for emerging Native American artists as they seek better representation in Hollywood.
The LA Skins Fest started 14 years ago, and I myself am a filmmaker. I've been, working in film as a writer, director, and producer for many years at a feature at Sundance. And I moved to Los Angeles many years ago, and I just saw that there was not a genuine connection between the Native American community and the entertainment industry. And having been to several high-profile film festivals like Sundance, in Europe, across the country, etc. I just saw how film festivals really help filmmakers. It's more than just having a screening. It's more than just putting something on your resume. It's really important that they provide something for you professionally and on a genuine level. And I wanted to provide that for the Native American community. We have programs throughout the year. So for example, we have a TV Writers Lab every spring. It just wrapped its 5th year. We have a feature film lab, Writers Lab in the fall. We have our film festival in November. And then we have an animation lab every December now. But because everything is now virtual, we don't do anything in person. We don't expect our selected fellows to come to Los Angeles. We have been able to expand our outreach, and we've gotten a lot more applicants. We're able to expand the amount of fellows. And, honestly, coming to Los Angeles for extended periods of time, that could be economically very challenging from somebody from a reservation or a rural community. So they are able to stay where they're at, and they can still participate. There's, I think, 3 components that are important to us for the film festival. And as a filmmaker, what you like to see is, not only a great screening, and that includes having a big audience at a great venue. So that's why we're housed at the Chinese Theater. We've been there for 5 years now. Also, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, they donate a theater. So as a native filmmaker, you really have an advantage there, where you're having your film screen at some of the top venues in Los Angeles. But beyond that, we want to provide professional opportunities. So there are other festivals with representatives, so that can lead to another screening at another community or another festival for our filmmakers. And then also there's an opportunity to maybe sell your material. We had in years past, we've had an agreement with Comcast where they would purchase the films from our festival and stream them on their Xfinity service. So having a distribution platform also is important. And then also beyond that is finding new work. Having industry people available, having industry people who help those talented individuals grow their career and provide opportunities there. When we can, hit those marks, that's really satisfying to me in terms of all the work that we do in trying to provide a really great event that is genuine on many levels.
El Pueblo does digital story time. Barnsdale Arts Center takes their arts and crafts fair online and learn to prepare nutritious foods on a budget. It's all up next on Virtual Things to Do.
The El Pueblo Historical Monument presents their storytelling session series to young readers who can follow along online. With the Safer at Home initiative in effect, education and reading don't have to be put on hold. Enjoy the world of reading from the safety of your home with El Pueblo Storytime Sessions on YouTube. Art aficionados, staying indoors doesn't mean you can't check out and purchase some amazing works to add to your collection. Add vibrance to your homes with art through the Barnsdall Virtual Art and Craft Fair. Happening now through December 31st, take this opportunity to visit barnstallartcenter.org and get started viewing. Having a nutritious diet doesn't have to break the bank. Let the health and nutrition class with Selena be your ticket to enjoying a healthier diet without dishing out the cash. Have a nutrition expert teach you which foods can help promote overall wellness. To join, email literacy@lapl.org for the Zoom link and login information and take the first step toward a healthier lifestyle. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Rasha Goel. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. And a reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.